Hello there, you beautiful people out there on the internet. I was recently told to go play this game by some random PM over on Reddit, saying, "It's dangerous to go alone, go play this game." Thinking that was kind of Lovecraftian inspired, that was all I needed to hear. Made by a 3-person team over on natchman.itch.io. 3-person team is Nathan Nelson, writer, director, and programmer; Mark Sparling, composer and sound director; and Quincy Bowen, the artist. Based on the story, The Whisper in the Darkness. Basically the same thing. Well, with that said, let's jump into the game, shall we? Oh, okay, it's mouse controlled, I see. Introduction. Public domain jam. Well, I'm already playing with headphones. So let's start with Chapter 1, shall we? Chapter 1. To begin with, I must admit I cannot prove the truth of my story. The police never found more than the evidence to corroborate my report than the bullet holes in Ackley in the Ackley farmhouse. Nothing remains to suggest anyone had anything ever been there or anything else in missing Ackley himself. Ooh, I am digging this art style. Perhaps it was simply mental shock which caused me to flee that farmhouse that night. Recklessly driving a stolen Ford through the wild hills of Vermont. I could not only testify the vividness of the things I had saw and heard, and do my best to recreate the contents detailed in my communication with Henry Arkley, which all are lost. I write to you here on paper, which, as you may learn, my electronic communications are surely being watched. Yet, I must attempt to spread my story, warning all others foolish adventurers that I might convince them to avoid the godforsaken hills at all costs. Exposition, okay. The matter came to my attention several weeks ago. Became a recent flood in Vermont. What the fuck is that? Eccentric dwellers of the hills reported discovering strange bodies washing up on the shore of the West River beyond Newfane. The rumors sparked a surge of theories, myths, and legends began to resurface in decades past. Some of the more well-researched claims are actually printed, sparkling particularly popular discussion and debate. The Wolflin Herald. Eli Davenport, bizarre tales of an elder race may carry some truth. Vermont law for centuries has hinted at the existence of a hidden race of monstrous beings somewhere in the remote hills. Dark of these creatures since resurface after evidence of their presence reported by Vermont local adventurers deeper in the usual mountains. They claimed to have seen clawed plants in the mud, curiously arranged down in circles in the grass, which were worn away. Moth mouths closed by boulders, scarcely in accidental fashion. Even dim figures glimpsed in the forest at night. And yada yada yada. How foreboding. As a professor and folklorist, I was already well aware of the legends, and my opinions on the subject became increasingly sought after by my students. What is that, a Bayaki? Roots of legend spread. Records of century-old Pennacook mythology referring to winged ones who came from the sky and abandoned our earthly hills. There. What are they supposed to be, fungi from Yagath? Shagath. Yagath? There they had some type of stone to suffer from and flew back to the stars. Seems fairly inefficient. They were mostly content with leaving humans alone, but sometimes men inexplicably disappeared among their hills. Their hills, the deep woods, the highest peaks, and the darkest valleys are streams and trickles of unknown source. The hills, the dead of night, sometimes strange buzzing sources can be heard, eventually imitating human speech. None of it was believed, of course. Chapter 2! Eventually, I decided to take my expertise in rational skepticism to the papers to see if I could quell some of the nonsense once and for all. I wish I never had. The reporter. The reformer. Albert Winmar, facts behind the Miko legend. Oh yes, I guess I was Miko, the fungi from Yagath. But they're more interested in harvesting brains than anything else. We got another name drop, Miskatonic University. Old ones. Tribal legends, blah blah blah. Feared by forest animals. Reign of truth. More fawns, dryads, and satyrs. So basically it was dismissed as being a crackpot. And one of our eyes seems to be higher than the other. Uncle's first message came in the phone and email one morning. We got action filing. Mr. Wilmarth, I've read your summaries on Wilmarth folklore, the Battleboro reformer, and was impressed by your depth in your research. It's easy to see why you choose to dismiss these supernatural tales. Unfortunately, for reasons I will explain, I'm afraid your opponents, ignorant as they are, may be closer to the truth. My name is Henry Arkley. I've lived my entire life in amidst some dread tales of forests. Of late, I have explored deeper into the uninhabited hills and valleys. I have come to regret the curiosity, and now in search of unsettling evidence and monstrosities for my investigation. I do not intend for writing to you and spark any argument, but my real wish is that you may hush the matter to your risk of your ability. These things are dangerous. They are watching me. Please share this message with no one. If you wish to see the evidence I have collected, I will send it to you as soon as I can. I have taken several photographs of things I've discovered in the woods. My reply was short, no more than a paragraph. I wished to set in this evidence of sheer curiosity. I would be certainly interested in seeing your photographs, rest assured. I do not intend on further involving myself in these public debates over this matter. At gmail.com. He sent the photos the next day. After viewing them one by one, I couldn't help myself but entertain the notion that was truly unusual taking place in the far Arkley farmhouse. One night, while I wandered in the woods, I heard the sound of distant ritual chanting. Followed by the noise, I realized I was foolish enough to come any closer. I set out the next morning to return to the spot where I found a stone circle. I do not know what to make of it. And also this finger painting. It looks like a bear print with a little dot at the end. At the same spot, I found this strange black stone, covered in hieroglyphs. But it's not of any human language. I've been working to decipher it for almost a week. The last photo was of our clay itself, sitting alone in front of the farmhouse. I never wrote the papers again, solely the debates died off. Chapter 3. In addition to the black stone, Clay sent me one more piece of tangible evidence. He actually managed to record a minute or two of what he describes as ritual chanting, which he heard one night in the woods. He also sent me the recording by mail, in the form of a cassette tape. I will never forget what I heard when playing that recording, how deeply it affected me. You took 70 damage. Well. Oh, okay. I thought we were actually going to get audio. Of course, Cthulhu, Fanag, Vatagan, I. Ooh, even Azeroth himself. So I'm guessing the gulf is the entity in the woods. Now, if I'm guessing it is in is it Hasthor or Narahotep? Since it involves putting a mask on. This is known as the Crawling Chaos. But isn't the Whisper in the Darkness more on Narahotep? I gotta catch up. So, the next matter was a black stone. After puzzling over its hieroglyphs for weeks, Arclay believed it was the cusp of unraveling secrets. We agreed that I could spend it with me safely. I might be able to find the last crucial piece that translating the hieroglyphs. I managed to convince him to drive into the township and ship with the stone. Its estimated date arrival came and went, and to my dismay, I received no delivery. Distraught, Arclay concluded the stone must have been intercepted by delivery. Now they must be watching him more closely than ever, and he realized. I assured him it was simply be an accident. I prompted him for the status of delivery. Oh, Amazon, you're so wacky. Despite my half-hearted encouragements, I would soon have had the hope of finding the stone would ever be recovered. Let's get it out at Chapter 4, shall we? I believe we have a lot of reading ahead of us.